Welcome to the test drive, ladies and gents. So we're running the triple V8 300 horsepowers on this one. And as I said before, it comes standard with the twin V10s. So this will be a point of difference if you are looking at that engine option. We're relatively full load, full of fuel, bar what we've already burnt today. 3 people and a bunch of kit on board. We've got some offshore wind. It's really moderate, but we're in shallow water. We're in 10 foot of water, and we do have a little bit of swell curving around the point here. So we might see a little bit of wave action at times. I'm just going to increase the power and get moving, and then I'm going to talk to you about the fuel flow. We will be doing a full speed test later on in the video. So let's go. Engine trim down, zip wakes on. So I'm just giving it I'm getting up to 4,500 RPM there. I can feel a little bit of engine up necessary. Now I'm going to back off on those revs, settle down to about 4.1. Okay, and there's 32 miles an hour speed over ground. 32 miles an hour speed over ground, and I'm burning 12 gallons per hour per motor. Just looks like I could do a little bit more trim up on the engines, and I'll just sit that for a while. Let's settle in, get our nav all right, and let's have a look at that zip wake. Just playing with the zip wake. There we go. Awesome. All right, I'm happy with this. Let's increase our speeds. 4,300 revs, 34. And what we're going to do is put the boat into a turn. We'll come into that turn at about 4,500 RPM. Clear, and trim down. Okay, see, this is where the boat really comes into its own. It doesn't feel like one of those big Mediterranean style day boats right now. It's much more adventure boat like. I did that at 37 mile an hour, engine trim still down, powering through the next turn. And again, I can increase power. She grips, she's fun, this is lively but controllable. Engine noise is acceptable. Obviously running the Mercuries makes a big difference for that. That's really enjoyable. And I came through there at 39 mile an hour. Now I'm just going to slow down my rate of speed. I'm going to set my engine trim, and I'm actually going to go downwind now, which today that means offshore. So let's do that. Got to watch out for some of the fishermen spots, going through a couple little waves there. Lovely. So there are some crab spots, I believe, out here. So I just got to have an eagle eye. And let's slow that speed down now to a slow cruise. We'll talk to you about the fuel burn. So settling down to a speed over ground of about 27 miles per hour. 27 miles per hour is 3,900 RPM. And to 4,000. So now I'm actually on 28, 29, thereabouts. And I can see a fuel consumption of 10 gallons per motor. 10 gallons per motor. I'm actually just going to raise my height a little bit in case any of those crab pots are out here. Now let's go for a fast cruise, and then we'll do wide open. Okay, we're going up to 4,500 RPM. 4,000, a little bit too fast there actually, that was 4.7. Okay, let's dial it back in. 4.4, downwind, and with some swell coming across my starboard aft quarter. I'm seeing 37 mile an hour, and she's cutting up this chop quite nicely. She does throw a little bit of water around the place. You are going to get water on the windscreens and the back seats if it's a windy day and you hit the waves at the wrong angle. But I don't care about the wrong angle right now because I want to go fast. All right, that was 13 gallons per motor at that speed. And now we're going wide open. I've got the zip wakes still active. I can see 45 and climbing. 5,600 RPM, 48. There's a crab pot, 50. And I know I can do 55 because I did that before with the zip wakes off. But now I'm entering a crab pot zone. I think that might be unwise to take my eyes off the road. So with zip wakes active, I'm doing 52. 52. Cutting in, trim down, hold the turn. Beautiful, sporty. See, oh, fun. A little bit of spray there, a little bit. You might notice that. I think because the bow has got a little bit more of this angle, it sends some water out in that direction. So now we're sitting on this fast turn, and let's just ride this back into the shore. I'm at 40 mile an hour, that's 4,900 RPM, and I'm consuming 17 gallons on the outside motor. Let's see if I can match that. And a little bit more on the inside. There we go. I wasn't matching my revs. Around about 17 gallons per motor. There's a couple more crab pots. I'm going to miss these ones. 41 mile an hour right now. Let's just go a little bit faster. 5,200 RPM gives me 44, 45 mile an hour, and she's really belting along right now. I think with these waves on our beam, the zip wake is actually giving us a nice little bit of stability, and you are going to enjoy trimming the engines up and down, and you will see a speed benefit and comfort benefit when you do that, depending on the waves. Couple more pots here. Going to go in between these ones. Geez, you wouldn't want to get caught out at night here. That'd be rightly annoying. Awesome. And then let's back that off. Sensible cruise speed. Especially when you get down around that 4,000 RPM. Look at the fuel flow. We're down underneath 10 gallons per motor. I'm just a smidgen over 4,000 right now. I'm seeing 32 miles per hour, super comfy. I can see over the bow. If I wanted to raise my sight lines, I have the ability to do that thanks to this floor just here. And let's try from the seated position. Oh, I actually can't see over the bow just there, so I would need to introduce some trim or know that I'm clear ahead in order to assume that position, or just go slower. Super cool. Okay, we're going to play with the anchor in the shallow water, and then after that we're going to go do some touch and goes at a location yet to be determined. See you there. So guys, I'm trying to be creative here because there are people coming and going, and we have been taking up some space of this private marina here. This beautiful spot. What's this place called again?
Cabbage Key.
Cabbage Key. Come here if you're on the west coast of Florida. Just, I guess we are north of Pine Island where we started. Cool place. So, I just want to talk to you about the close quarters maneuverability of the boat, and as you can see, right now, 3 engines. I'm using transverse thrust. The thing goes around quite predictably, but we also have the availability of a joystick and a bow thruster. So I'm just going to see where this guy's going. I'm actually going to go that way. He's going to go behind me. So what I'll do, I'll just come and kiss the dock up here for you guys and give you a feel for what's possible. Got a couple more boats coming in behind us, so we'll have to make this quick smart. Got my bow thruster on, got my joystick available, and I'm going to do this in the good old manual fashion. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is just spin us around here. So one of the points that a lot of you guys are going to be interested in because many of you I know are watching in Florida. Yes, we do have a rub rail. So if you are coming into a docking situation like this one, we can come and kiss the dock, and we're going to touch the rub rail. Now that's a variable speed bow thruster, and I'm actually just controlling my thrust of the motor and the bow thruster right now to side slip the boat in towards the dock. And I won't touch the dock because there's other people trying to use this location, but you get the idea. I've got nice, good access to these midship cleats just here. So if I want to leave the helm and I want to do anything, it is totally possible. Making my way forward as well is nice and easy. And aft, with that rub rail going all the way around, because that does wrap around the swim platform. So now I'm just going to leave this dock here. I've got one boat going behind me and another one. So now, see how I've got left engine clicked in forward, and I've just got a bit of variable speed thrust, and I'm able to walk the boat out. So you have a lot of options with this kind of setup. Can you hopefully you can hear on the microphone the variable speed at work. But if you didn't want to do that, you can also just do good old joystick. So you can do skyhook, and that's now taking command. Although I say taking command, it's not in command. You are still in command. You need to look around and have good situational awareness, because the boat's not going to stay exactly where you place it. It's still going to have some variation to that. So make sure you're looking around and having a good situational awareness. But I hope you can understand that with a little bit of wind, and there might be a smidgen of tide in here as well, we are holding our position. Can you see that? It's pretty good. And then I can deactivate that, and depending on what setting I've got it on, I'm able to get the boat moving and spin it on a dime, walk it sideways, just using the joystick. So I'll just give us one little sideways movement here. Nice and predictable. So if you're wanting a lot of that control around the dock or these close quarters situations, you're going to find this particular hull quite predictable to maneuver, because she's not the lightest boat ever. You do feel the mass of this vessel when you're putting it in and out of gear, unlike some of those lighter day boats that you might see on my channel. If I do that with the joystick, the whole boat is going to lurch this way or that way because there's less mass involved in the movement. This one is much more luxury Mediterranean day boat vibes when we're in a close quarters scenario. And I like the fact that I can see everything. I've got the rub rail and I can access all the important points. So if you do have non-useful friends, which we all do, let's face it, when we go boating, you can sit them all down there and maybe some of them up the front. Just make sure they don't ruin your line of sight, and you can just get to work. Simple as that. So we can operate the windlass from the bow, but I want to do it from the helm, I want to do it from the bow so you guys can see what's going on. As you can see, we're chain to road. So I'm just going to start coming up on that. And the design of the bow is has enough slope in it. It's not like a flat stem bow where you really have to worry about the anchor swinging and connecting with the boat. So go a little bit forward on that. So you can kind of just set and forget is what I mean. Like so. So now all we need to do is clean it down, and she's stowed nicely. And you can also see the design of these bow rollers is going to most likely put a bit of pressure on the swivel just there, so it will always come up in the correct manner. So come in close, just another little, see that design there. When we come up, it puts weight, so because of the angle of the bow roller, it captures the anchor, and the inherent weight of the anchor itself wants to go low, and so it comes up the right way. It should come up the right way every time, looking at that. That's pretty cool. So that's the boat, ladies and gents. She's a good piece of kit. This is an interesting one to watch. Obviously a new brand, but it's not a new company. These guys have so much experience. It shows in the way this thing drives and all the clever little ideas that we see right throughout this design. So I think if you are someone who is looking for performance, medium amount of fuel efficiency, and a nice wide area of operations, perhaps you've come from an adventure or a smaller performance boat and you are looking at that next step, or maybe you just want something super luxurious to support your other boat or your house, like what we see in the background just here. I think for all of those functions, this W-43 is going to meet the bill, or fit the bill quite nicely. So for those of you who are wanting to buy one of these, go and check out my Patreon. We're going to do a bit more of a deep dive into some of the bits and pieces we've learnt on this vessel today. I think this is a brand to watch. I'm pretty keen to see what else they have on the drawing board for the future, because this could just be the start of something quite special. See you there. To be fair, all of the European brands that I seem to crawl around in are of a similar finish. So that is what it is. All I would do, for example,